A long time ago, in a small African village, there lived a kind woman named Zola. She had a husband, Adisa, and a little boy named Jabari. Zola loved her family deeply, but she longed for another child. Years passed, and no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't have another baby. Zola drank bitter herbs, prayed to the gods, and even bathed in special rivers, but nothing worked. Her heart grew heavy and her body grew tired. One day, she heard about a powerful voodoo priest named Baba Nyoka, who could help people with impossible problems. With hope in her heart, Zola visited Baba Nyoka. His hut was dark and filled with strange smells. The old man looked at her with eyes that seemed to see everything. "You want a child," he said before she could speak. "There is a child waiting for you, but she is no ordinary child. She is a water child born from the spirits of the river. She will bring you great joy and also great challenges." Zola didn't care about challenges. "Please," she begged, "tell me what to do." Baba Nyoka gave her a task. She had to spend 7 nights by the river, giving offerings to the water spirits and dancing under the moonlight. Zola did everything he said, and on the last night, the river shimmered, and a voice whispered, "The child will come, but she will always belong to the water." Soon after, Zola became pregnant. The village celebrated, but some whispered that this child would be different. When the baby girl was born, a strong storm shook the village, and the river flooded the fields. Zola named her Amani, meaning peace. Amani was a beautiful and curious child, but the villagers feared her. They avoided her, whispering of her otherworldly aura. Children refused to play with her, and adults kept their distance. They called her a water child and said she would return to the river someday. Amani, though unable to fully understand why, seemed unbothered. Worried, Zola went back to Baba Nyoka. He gave her a bracelet made of special beads and silvers. "This will keep her tied to this world," he said. "She must wear it until she is 18. Zola returned home and clasped the bracelet on Amani's wrist. As Amani grew, the bracelet became both a source of comfort and unease. Zola watched her daughter with a mixture of pride and anxiety, almost alert for signs that the prophecy might come true. When Amani would sit by the river for hours, humming to herself, or when she seemed to know things she couldn't possibly have learned, Zola's fear deepened. She promised to protect Amani, but she always felt a deep fear that one day she might lose her daughter. Years later, Zola fell ill from a deadly plague, and she passed away. Adisa, her husband, grew weak with grief and sickness. Jabari, now a young man, was left to take care of the family. Uncertainty about the future clouded his mind, and desperation carved harsh lines into his young face. One day, strangers arrived in the village, foreign traders with sharp eyes and cruel smiles. They whispered to Jabari of wealth and salvation, offering silver for workers. Faced with the unbearable choice between watching his family starve and doing the unthinkable, Jabari made a deal. He sold Amani. The kind brother who once carried her on his shoulders now looked at her with cold eyes. The day he sold her to the traders, she clung to his arm, tears streaming down her face, and with a frail voice she said, "Please, Jabari, don't do this." He looked away, his jaw tight. "You'll understand one day," he said. As she was dragged away by the captors, she felt a sting of betrayal. Her heart, once filled with love for her family, felt broken. Amani was taken far away in chains across rivers and deserts to a place she didn't know. In the trader's caravan, she was surrounded by strangers who had also been taken away from their homes. At first, she cried every night, clutching her bracelet and praying for rescue. But as the days turned into weeks, she realized that tears would not save her. "If I want to survive," she said to herself, "I must be strong." In this strange land where her dark skin and melodic accent marked her out as an outsider, she was sold to a merchant. Life in the merchant's house was very cruel. She was given little food, punished harshly for mistakes, and laughed at for how she looked and spoke. The merchant's children treated her as if she wasn't human, their cruel words hurting much more than any punishment. But even in her darkest moments, Amani refused to break. She held on to the memory of her mother's songs and her father's laughter. Through her years of hardship, the bracelet stayed intact, though its beads dulled with time. But these small pieces of her past gave her the strength to keep going. One moonless night, she seized her chance to escape. She fled into the forest, running until her legs gave out. The forest was a dangerous place. At night, strange sounds filled the air. Growls, howls, and rustling bushes. One time, Amani woke up to see a wild cat staring at her. It crept closer, but a loud noise scared it away. She held her stick tightly, too scared to sleep. Finding food was hard. At first, she ate berries and plants, but some made her very sick. Water was even harder to find. She walked for hours, thirsty and tired. Once, she drank from a dirty puddle and got very sick. After that, she followed animal tracks which led her to a small, clean stream. Snakes were everywhere too. One day, she nearly stepped on a nest of vipers. They hissed loudly and she ran as fast as she could, her heart pounding in fear. The weather was tough too. Rain soaked her and cold nights left her shivering. She had no choice but to hide under leaves and branches to stay warm. But Amani didn't give up. She learned to climb trees to escape danger and used rocks to make fire. She even built traps to catch small animals for food. Over time, she grew strong, fast, and smart. But did the forest prepare her well enough for the danger about to unfold? What would you do if you were in Amani's shoes? Comment your thoughts below and please subscribe, like, and share. Thanks for watching.